The Soviets are first and second going into the original program. The Duchesnays are third. Let's see what happens.
Marina and Sergei Ponomarenko.
They won the compulsory dance, the reigning world champions, after being second 4 times to Duchesnay and Bukin. Another husband and wife team, Marina Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko.
Having seen this particular one in practice, I think it's almost a foregone conclusion that they will win, but they will win for the right reasons. I think the skating skills are spectacular here.
Look at how fast they're covering the ice. One thing to watch with this couple is the way they stay within each other's arms. They rarely let go except to change positions.
It's so difficult to remember what the previous couples did, but compared to the Usova Zhulin performance, I feel that the skating skills are just stronger, and if anything, it's a little bit snappier.
Away from their incredibly expressive upper bodies, watch their feet. They never stop twisting and turning.
Well, I think many skaters have always perceived them as being a classical couple, but they certainly are handling the samba as well as anybody.
All right.
Meticulously skated and far, far superior to the samba that I saw at the European Championships in Leningrad, which they did make a mistake. This looked pretty flawless to me.
Well, if there is a definite challenge there because they're skating in Canada, and though the Duchesnays specifically are representing France, they are Canadians, I think this couple have come out and answered the challenge pretty well. Canadian judge with a 5'9". The Canadian judge on the panel is Jayne Garden. Well, Natalia Dobrova on the right there is looking a lot happier than she has been earlier this week. And here comes the second set of marks. Still a 5'8" from Finland. Yes, there is a 6 pulled up from the Japanese judge. A perfect mark at 6. Here are Paul and Isabelle Duchesnay, bronze in the Europeans in Leningrad, world bronze last year. Certainly the most talked about dance couple here. Canadians who skate for France, they're third here after the compulsory dance.
They've got the best of both worlds. They're at home when they're in France, and they're at home when they're in Canada.
Criticism that has been circulated from many of their detractors, and they are both popular and unpopular in this competition, is the fact that the OSP has a great deal of 2-foot skating. And that's something that I particularly wanted to see. I was watching the Soviet couple, Usova Zhulin, which are directly in front of them, to see whether, in fact, this is really better.
and the Soviet teams is that they skate quite far apart, and quite often they will skate by themselves. They won't actually be in a dance position, and that is what has caused them a lot of trouble with the judges.
Well, this is one particular discipline that the rules and the illegalities are very difficult for a general spectator to pick up on.
Here is what you were mentioning with a little bit of the 2-foot skating. But what they go for is that body rhythm and the crowd appeal, and that works.
Right there is a great deal of skating where they are completely not in touch with one another, and I now see what it is that many people were criticizing us about. You can see he's not really touching it. Well, there he grabs her again. I think I feel a lot more comfortable sitting in a commentator's seat than I would if I were sitting in a judge's seat, because again, there you see that there's very little skating where they're actually together.
Yeah, the judges have to play the bad guys.
The performance level is very, very high, and certainly great crowd favorites here. The audience is standing up, but if the marks are low, and I'm not sure that they will be, I think I do understand what the problem is.
So let's see what they do to the Duchesnays. Well, look at those marks. I think that those are very, very good marks, considering what they've received in the past. I think finally they have broken through on the judges. Here come their marks now for artistic impression. Look at that, a 6. There's another 6. And they have moved up into second place after the OSP, ahead of Usova and Zhulin.
So the Duchesnays right now in second place, and what a spectacular finale ahead in the ice dancing as we go into the free program part of the competition.
This is a remarkable couple, and look at that expression.
This is a difficult position to skate in, having just dropped in the OSP. Effortlessly into the next. And their lines are always matched perfectly.
is a cut above anything that we've seen so far. There is absolutely nothing the matter with it. It is flawlessly artistic, great skating, and it's exquisitely interpreted.
Yes, and we're going to have their marks. I have never seen her better. We'll have the marks when we come back. The marks, and they are definitely up there. All 5.7s and 5.8s.
It's much more difficult to skate in a closed dance hall than it is to skate hand in hand.
The only problem with the program, and we are talking finite points, it didn't have a dramatic punch at the end. One could admire every detail, but it didn't leave you with a devastating impression the way that some of the others potentially might be able to. That would be the only criticism.
Waiting now for their second set of marks, which should be a little bit higher. Yes, they are. Again, 5.8s and 5.7s, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 marks of 5.8. That does put them in the lead. Will they be able to get ahead again of the Duchesnays and stay there is the big question. The Duchesnays are skating between the two Soviet couples, so you couldn't ask for a better scenario. This number is from a Torvill and Dean production, their interpretation of the political drama in Argentina as represented in the dramatic movie Missing. There's some uncertainty as to just who did this original choreography. That really doesn't matter. It's how they skate to it right now that matters.
Well, Ted, they started the ball rolling in the OSP. Let's see if it keeps going. They did 4 assisted jumps in succession. Now the rules limit the assisted lifts to 5. Is very powerful. You feel it in your body.
can give for something that is magic. This was a magical performance. I rest my case on that.
If the marks are down technically, it'll be due to the fact there's Mr. and Mrs. Duchesnay in the crowd.
Tracy, there's a point at which you cannot ignore the fact that it has electrified the audience. Whatever the rules are, the fact remains this is the direction of skating for the 1990s. And what is going to happen is the rules are going to have to change as a result of this performance.
And there's their first set of marks. They are better than the Soviet couple. 5-9, 5-9, 5-9, 5-8, 5-8, 5-8, 5-8, 5-8, 5-8. Their technical marks. We would expect that the other set of marks on the strength of the 5-9s, particularly with this first group, would be higher. I want and think that we're going to have a bit of an explosion here. Now the marks for artistic.
And
there they come. Look at that. 6, 6, the 5-9, a 6, another 6, 5-9, 5-9, 5-9, and then another 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 6s for artistic impression. Mrs. Duchesnay is just overcome.
representing the Soviet Union, the leader of the team, Marina and Sergei.
Well, here are Marina and Sergei Ponomarenko, world champions. And they got there after being second for 4 long years in the shadow of Bestiminova and Bukin. They've just won the Europeans again. They selected music from Fair Lady. They thought it would work here. It's going to really have to work for them.
And Ted, I have implicit faith that this will be the performance of their life. They're too professional not to make it happen. without flaw. It is a classic, it is beautiful, it is the best in skating, it is magic, but it is perhaps not the future of skating. That's the only problem.
And the three top couples here have given us an absolutely fantastic show. Marina Klimova and Sergei Ponomarenko, of course, waited so long. They knew what the Duchesnays had done. They came out to answer the challenge, and look what they have picked up for their first group of marks. A bevy of 5.9s for their first group. Well, they're all 5.9s right across. Here are the second set of marks, and they're all 5.9s. They've won 6. There is a 5.8. I'm sorry, there's a 5.8 from the Finnish judge, but there is a 6 from the Czech judge. That actually puts them behind the Duchesnays for free skating, but they hold their lead, and I'm quite sure another world championship overall because they won compulsory figures and the OSP.
The Soviet Union then adds the ice dancing gold medalist to its gold in the pairs, with only Kurt Browning's win in the men's preventing a Soviet clean sweep.